If I take time and I write down all the things that I love on my eyes.
This is your boy Stefan, your Afro-Grenadian ambassador. Yes, one and all, welcome back to my channel. I welcome you, all my subscribers, viewers, all over the world. Thank you for joining me. Well guys, in today's video, I have just come from work. So, I am on my way home. I'm walking, going home. So I said, let me give you a short tour of my beautiful country called Grenada, the Spice Isle, and I'm in the community or the village of Dunfermline. Yes guys, so in Dunfermline is a historical parish in its own. It is the first area where well, not the first area, but it is the area where the first prime minister was born, which is Eric Matthew Gary. Yes, Eric Matthew Gary was born right here in the parish of Dunfermline. So it's quite interesting, he was born to that direction that I'm pointing, yeah, that direction. All right, he was born right there, and yeah, he was the first person to be the prime minister of Grenada, Carriacou, and Petit Martinique. And yeah, so that is one of the reasons why Dunfermline is very, very historical. At the same time, it is also a busy area. Why? Because there are two major developments here in that parish, or in that community, in that village. Now there is the cane field, okay, the cane field, and the cane fields is very, very important to this community. It creates jobs. However, there is a two-side about it, there's a two-side about it. So I'm going to flip the camera to show you what the cane field is all about. Yes, my people, so right here we have the cane fields. Right, these are the cane fields right there. Right there, yeah, right there are the cane fields. I will give you a close run now, but here in Grenada, in the colonial times, a lot of rum distilleries could have been found on the island. A lot. We had over 106 rum distilleries that was functioning on the island during colonial times. Some of these rum distilleries today are operational, and some are abandoned. They are left to be abandoned. The reason for this abandonment is because in the late 1800s, 1895, 97, thereabout, on the island of Grenada, when slavery was abolished, and the labor force of our ancestors were no longer there, the slave masters were forced to close those plantations. Yeah, so guys, as you can see, let me show you. As you can see, there's a lot of cane fields in Grenada. We have a lot of cane fields. So all these cane fields all over the place. And I'm somewhat in a disagreement to what is going on here, because I will explain why. Because you see, all this field that where canes are now being planted, they were once estates, where we locals could have come and pick food. We had breadfruit, there were cocoa, there were all kind of things on these estates. It was a prize, a treasure of us locals. When things are difficult, Grenadians could have just come here and pick a two breadfruit, pick a two fig. It had avocado pear, we call it zabuka. Zabuka is what we call it. Avocado pear. We had orange. We had all kind of things on this field, and now everything was cleared to plant sugar canes. So one of the reasons why I disagree with this is because these sugar fields or sugar cane fields are being privatized now, so there are certain areas we cannot go. Now on this cane field was a plantation, okay, in the colonial time. There's an old sugar mill right there. I think well, nothing, but I will take you there if I can go there, because as I said, everything is privatized on the island. Well, not everything, pardon my words, not everything is privatized, but most of the things are privatized. And the concerning thing is, it is not privatized by locals, but it's privatized by foreigners. Yes, guys, and I want to let you know that most of the reason why I disagree as well with this whole plantation thing, this cane field, is not only because it was once a place where Grenadians could have come and get food, but I also disagree with it is because it is owned and privatized by foreigners, and the canes are being used to produce rum. And rum is being exported to the UK, Europe, and the elites. I think I did a video on that, and what the owner of this company, which is called Kenko, said, it really shocked me. So it shows me that even if hundreds of years of slavery and colonization have been come to an end. Well, not really colonization, but slavery have come to an end. Hundreds and hundreds of years. The perception, or the structure, the colonized structure still remains, still is intact. Still intact, because we still have a lot of Grenadians working on the fields here. A lot of Grenadians are working on the fields here, and some of them are working on the fields for little or less pay. Little or less pay. I don't know where they are now, but I know that there was a commotion before concerning that. But putting this all aside, yes, guys, putting this all aside, this is the plantations. This is the cane field. Now let me help you understand. Even if some of it was estates and food and stuff was on it, where I'm treading now, I'm bringing you to an old sugar mill. Now, when our African ancestors were captured, okay, and they were forced out of the motherland, so and those African enslaved people that was brought on the island of Grenada, as soon as they arrived, they were separated and taken to different parts of the island. Because remember, it was all about the plantations. The main reasons why our African enslaved ancestors were brought here in the Caribbean was because to work on the plantation. Nothing more, nothing less. They were brought to work on the plantations. And one of the reasons why they were brought to and one of these plantations that some of our African ancestors came on is right here, where I'm going to show you now. Is right here, okay? So right in front of me there is an old sugar mill. Now all this here, this part of this piece of land, or plot of land, was an estate, okay, back then, but also it was a plantation as well. Okay, it was a plantation as well. Okay, well, an estate, okay, an estate plantation, right? It was a plantation, or you can say a colonial estate. Let me put it like this. It was a colonial estate, a colonial plantation, and the majority of things that were planted here was sugarcane, right? Was sugarcane. All that here was sugarcane. Now, after a period of time, colonial ended and stuff, and the sugar production ended and stuff, we had a lot of bush growing here, and then the government of Gary, I believe, came and made an estate planted. It was more used for agriculture's sake. I mean, this is agriculture as well, but this is not it is not something that we tend to cherish. or I tend to cherish, because it reminds us about the past. And now the sugarcane field is now brought back, right? As you can see, because here, this is an old sugar mill as where we are going. Now, our African enslaved people used to work on this plantation. Some of them were brought here. Okay, so we are in, those of you who are watching, we are in the parish of St. Andrews, Dunfermline. Okay, the village of Dunfermline. I don't know how Dunfermline used to be called back in colonial times, but this is the parish of the St. Andrews in Dunfermline. And what we are seeing, you see, all there is like, is a plot. Is all this was estates. This was the field. Now, guys, what we are actually looking at is the fields where our African and slave forefathers and foremothers used to work on. Okay, this is one of the fields on the island where our African and slave forefathers and mothers used to work on. Now, imagine, you know, our African enslaved for parents working on these fields in the hot sun without no pay. This is what they had to endure, right? They had to be on the fields. And when the canes are harvested, all right, when the canes are harvested, now guys, bear with me, right? My device is not that maneuverable, right? I cannot maneuver too much with it. So that is why I'm looking to get better equipment. So, you know, guys, I will appreciate, you know, it's very, very greatly appreciated if you support this channel by leaving a super thanks, you know, a super chat, whatever it is. I greatly appreciate it, you know, so that I can get better equipments, so I can give you more quality videos. So guys, where we at right now, this is an old sugar mill. So let me try to see if I can get, right, this is an old sugar mill, okay? I think it was, well, not thing, but I have to stop with using that word think, all right? It was built in colonial times, in the early 1700s. Yeah, in the early 1700s, going back to 18th century, right? This is an old sugar mill that, or you can say a plantation, right? This is an old sugar mill on a slave plantation. Let me put it that way. Okay, where our ancestors used to work on. Now this is a copper. Okay, this is a copper, traditional copper. Well, a lot of the things what used to be done here, you know, growing up, I used to see my grandparents cooking in these kind of things for saraka. Well, mainly for saraka. But before we used to cook. A lot of us grandparents, foreparents used to cook in this thing called, we call it copper, right? So this also was used, the copper was used for boiling of sugar cane into molasses to get, you know, to get the rum production. These things, this copper was used for many things, not just rum production, but it was used for many things. Those of you who are watching in the comment section, if you are acquainted with this, you can also give additional information about this. We call it the copper here in Grenada. I don't know how it is called in other parts of the Caribbean, but it's copper. And it was used for many things. But we used to cook with these things. We used to do all kind of things, you know. And this is an old sugar mill, right? This is an old sugar mill. So when the canes are harvested, right over there on the fields, okay, all this was the field. All this is the sugar fields. All this is the sugar fields. When the canes are harvested, it is brought here. All right, so this is the entrance. I will try to bring you to the entrance. This is the entrance of the old sugar mill. All right. I don't know if the lighting will be to the best, but this is all this. All these are huge coppers where the canes they used to boil. They boil it. This is where the canes were brought to be processed. To be quite honest with you, I'm in here and I'm a bit scared. Because I can, not scared, and it's very sanctimonial. You get that sacred feeling that you feel the presence of your ancestors here. You know how they used to, you know, I don't know how to explain it, but there's a presence here. I'm feeling the oh no, the back on the hair on my back, on the back of my head is standing up. The presence of you, you can. I don't know how to explain it. I just don't know how to explain, but you can feel the presence of the colonial times and the hardship and what our ancestors used to go through, you know, and our ancestors working inside of this building. Okay? This building. So as I was saying, this is where our and the canes were brought to be boiled. So I think there is one. Wow, huge coppers, huge coppers. There is 1, 2, 3, and there we have 4 huge coppers here. Yes, so you can say this was a typical sugar mill on one of those colonial slave plantations that was here on the island of Grenada in the village of Dunfermline, or the parish of St. Andrews. Now the parish of St. Andrews is where I am from. Is this another huge copper up here? I think that's another. All right, guys, let me climb and see. Wow, so that's another huge copper. I don't know what this one was used for, but I see that there is a pipe here, a huge pipe. So maybe the cane juice was stored here. Maybe the cane juice was stored here, and then it was filtered out, you know, in this huge coppers. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I think it's 5 huge coppers. So the cane juice maybe was stored here and filtered out to be boiled in these huge coppers. Now, guys, it's very, very sacred. Honestly, guys, I have never get a feeling like that before. Honestly. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's true that the ancestor spirits lives on, or they are aware of this, or you know, they are aware of what is going on. I don't know. I don't really I don't really believe that, but I don't know, guys. I'm getting a different feeling right now. It's very sacred. Very sacred in here. You know, you can feel the presence of our African enslaved forefathers and mothers here. I can really literally picture them here. Now, guys, I know the lighting is not to its best, so bear with me. Bear with me, it's not to its best. All right, guys, but bear with me. I promise you, I'm doing my best to get better equipment so that I can do more quality videos. Yes, guys. So, guys, I am not I'm not a historian, but looking at this place give you an idea what used to go on here. You know, what used to go on here. So you see, this is maybe here, right here is where the canes were brought in. So because this area here is a huge space. So the canes probably, when the canes probably was harvested on the fields out there, it was brought here. This was the entrance. It was brought here. And the canes was stored here. And then our enslaved for parents that worked in here took the canes and started processing it there. So this was the processing room. This was the processing room. Yeah? This was the processing room, I believe. And this entrance down there maybe was just where you could have, you know, an individual entrance, maybe for the slave masters, where the slave masters came in, maybe the enslaved people themselves came in, the slave masters came in to monitor, you know. But the canes, you can get a sense, this building is like speaking, it's telling you the story. You don't really need to be a historian to get an idea what was going on here. The canes were brought here and stored here. Yeah? And the processing room was here. Yeah, guys? So this is really, now this is, I'm not too sure what this is, but this looks like a huge barrel. A huge barrel. So maybe that is when the rum, I guess, The rum is stored. This is where the rum was stored, and the barrels were rolled out of here, maybe and to be shipped away. You know, rolled out of here to be shipped away. The transport maybe used to wait. Maybe here they load it up here. So maybe that was an entrance and an exit point. Entrance point for the sugar canes to be to be manufactured, and then exit point so it can be shipped out. But guys, this is what yeah. So this is an old sugar mill. This is an old sugar mill on one of the plantations that was here on the island. There were a lot of plantations in Grenada. Guys, it's really, no, I'm putting all jokes aside. I think this was a holding cell. I think this was a holding cell. Now I'm trying to go there, but guys, I cannot, honestly. It's too much. I cannot. There's a presence, guys. There's a there's a presence, guys. I don't know how to explain it to you. I am not exaggerating, I'm not hyping anything, but you have to be here to experience this. No, guys, the presence, the feeling is surreal, and I'm not exaggerating anything. I'm not doing this to exaggerate or hype anything, but guys, it's really, you can feel the presence of our ancestors here. You know, I am not a believer in people, spirit roaming the earth, but I don't know, guys. There's a surreal presence here. I don't know what this is, but this to me, I might be wrong. I am subject to correction, but this to me, this part of the, now we were there, and now I discovered this part of the building. Right? It's getting overgrown, so I didn't see it. But it looks like to me, like, especially it's a 2-story. You could see it's a 2-story building, but it looks like the below looks like a holding cell. To me, it's like a holding cell. Now, in colonial time, guys, holding cells or slave pens were very common on the plantations here in the Caribbean. In Grenada, we have many slave pens. We have one in the parish of St. Patrick's. I hope one day I will take you there. But this to me looks like, I don't know, this to me looks like a holding cell. This looks like a holding cell to me. Guys, what do you think this is? I am subject to correction, but this looks like a place where our enslaved parents are being held. This looks like a place where, when slaves rebelled on the plantation, maybe they're not working the way that the slave masters want them to work, or they just choose to start rebelling, disobey, because some of our ancestors didn't lie down and take the death like sheep. Some of them didn't just take the death like sheep. Some of them fought. Some of them, they fought hard as they could, They rebelled. Some of them rebelled. And they rebelled. Now, guys, this is, honestly, this is making me emotional, honestly. I didn't expect this. Honestly. But this here is making me emotional. Because this bars of iron is a typical slave, these bars of iron tells a story. Guys, I might be subject to correction, right? I might be wrong, completely wrong about this here. But this to me looks like where some of our ancestors who stood up to fight for their rights, rebelled, were brought and be punished. Because there's a lot of slave pens here that the slave masters use to punish those who did not cooperate. Guys, I would try to give a closer glimpse, but honestly, I am really, the presence, it's a bit, it's a bit sacrimonial, honestly, if that's a word. But I don't know if I could go further. I don't even know if I could go in there. If I could take you in there, but I will try my best to give you a close look. Now this, I'm trying to, alright guys, this is, now something marks up here, no smoking. Now I don't know, there might be a lot of, oh, there's a lot of bats in there. Yeah, one pass rushed my head, so there's a lot of, it's not a home of bats, but there is some things I'm seeing there. The lighting will not reveal what's in there, but let me tell you what I'm seeing. I'm seeing something like a scale, so maybe, I don't know, but I'm seeing, and there's a lot of, what I'm seeing also is like like you know, pools, like pools of something. Well, I mean, there's water there now, so I don't know if it's water that used to be there. But guys, it's real, honestly. And I can't go further. Honestly, I can't go further. This is, you know, I don't know what this is. So guys, let me know in the comment section below, what do you think this part of the sugar mill on this plantation, colonial plantation, is? This old sugar is so this sugar mill is your typical colonial colonial plantation, you know. This is like a typical colonial. It's more like a small, comparing to other plantations on the island, this is more like a small scale plantation. So probably not too many slaves worked here. There were not too many slaves. Maybe I could estimate maybe approximately 500, yeah, slaves maybe were brought here, because it's a small plantation. But I'm trying to figure out this. I don't know what this is. This guys, but please let me know in the comment section below. But yeah, and there's upstairs, I don't know what is up there, what used to happen up there. So guys, let me know, give me your opinions, give me your thoughts, what you think this is. Do you think this is where slaves were being held, you know, especially below here? Or do you think this part of the building was used for something else? Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Yes, so guys, I am leaving the plantation now. I'm leaving, well, the building, the sugar mill that was on this old sugar mill that was on this particular plantation. I'm leaving, I'm moving away. But guys, I'm telling you, I want to say that the spirit of our ancestors is still crying out from the ground. You know, like Cain and Abel. Cain, when Abel, not Abel, but when Cain killed his brother Abel, and God told him, Abel, you have done, what have you done? What have you done, Cain? You know, what have you done? When he killed his brother Abel, God said, what have you done, Cain? It's not that God didn't know. But God said the blood of your brother is crying from the ground. You have done something. And really, to be truly honest, guys, I am getting that same experience here. You can literally feel and hear, if you listen very carefully, the blood of our ancestors that were brought here on this particular plantation is crying out from the ground. You can literally feel this, guys. You can literally feel, honestly, you know. So guys, this is a typical plantation, slave plantation that was here on the island. A typical slave plantation that was here on the island. So guys, I really appreciate you guys for watching. Thank you for watching. Give this video a thumbs up, like this video, all right? Subscribe to this channel, but I really do appreciate you guys. And yeah, guys, I really do appreciate all of you guys. I excuse me for pausing, but this experience right there I have just experienced, I didn't expect this. Honestly, I didn't expect this. It's like you coming out from a place of horror, but at the same time a place of a sacred place. Yeah, it's a place of horror because our ancestors, a lot of them died on this plantation. A lot of them died on this plantation, working hard in the sun, And so when we are calling for reparations, guys, when we are demanding reparations, you can understand why. Because the trauma of the past is still with us. Look, still with us. I don't see the need for this. I don't see the need for this. And this area is private, is a private area. I thank God that I was able to go a little bit further without any restrictions, but it's a private area owned. This cane plantation is owned by foreigners. Now, what has changed? If you ask me, nothing has changed. The trauma of the past is still here with us. And we still have African Grenadians, Afro-Grenadians. Well, not only Afro-Grenadians, you have Grenadians from all ethnicities working on this plantation, right? But mainly Afro-Grenadians, because the majority, about 80 to 90% of our population is Afro descent, right? It's Afro descent. In Grenada, we are Africans. We are Africans. Mostly the entire population is African descent. So our African descent people, Grenadians, are still working on this plantation. Still working. And I know of a lot of them who is complaining. They are complaining that the pay is not good. It's not really good, So guys, it's surreal. It's surreal. It's really surreal here, and I thank you guys for watching. I think I will end this video here. All right, stay tuned. I will be bringing more content, right? For a long time I have not been outside, so I say, let me do this today, and there are many more coming. Okay guys, don't forget to support this channel so that I can get better equipment, because the device I have is not really suitable for what I'm doing. So I'm trying to get the right and proper device or equipment so I can bring quality videos to you. Thank you. God bless you. See you next time.
From what